Cool. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Club Live. We are so excited to have you back again. We're here with a very special guest today. Her name is Hiyavi Sehgal. She's been in the industry for 7 years. She's learned from some of the best makeup artists in the industry. She's worked with some of the best Bollywood divas, from Aishwarya Rai Bachchan to Chitrangada Sen and Shraddha Kapoor. And I am so happy to have her here today. We are going to have her teach us a very unique glass look. It's super dewy, great for summers, and I think I'm going to let Hiyavi talk all about it. Hiyavi, over to you. Can you unmute yourself?
Hi guys.
Hey. I am so happy to have you here, Hiyavi.
I am so happy to be here. You're getting stuck a lot.
Really? I can see you. I'm just going to ask you guys, can you all see us? Give us a thumbs up. But let's continue. Tell me a little bit about yourself and tell us what you're going to show us today.
Yeah, I am Hiyavi, like she said. I have been working for 7 years. I have worked on a lot of fashion shows, movies like Zero, Thugs of Hindustan, The Sky is Pink. We're going to be learning a glass skin look today. What exactly is glass skin? It's actually a Korean technique. Koreans use it with a lot of skincare. It's like a 7 skincare routine, like 7 steps, and they drink a lot of water to achieve it. So it's basically a type of skin which is poreless. It looks like glass. So what we basically do in this is that we fake it. We fake that we have that glass looking skin that shines back when the light hits our face. That is what glass skin makeup actually is. And it's very easy. It's quite quick. It's not that complicated. It just has tiny little hacks that I will keep showing you in between.
Great. So tell us, how would you prep your skin before this look and what do you do to achieve that?
Glass skin makeup is all about prep. So the more prep you do, the better it is. I have already put a sheet mask before the class. So I recommend that you always put a sheet mask before doing it. It just takes 15 minutes. You could be talking on your phone, having a glass of wine, whatever you want to do before you're getting ready. And then after that, I always choose to ice my skin.
Okay.
Because and never put ice directly on your face. Take like a muslin cloth, something soft, and ice your face. You could do it over your sheet mask as well. So when you have your sheet mask on, you could ice your face. It just shrinks the pores, so it makes it easier to fake it. And those are the 2 biggest things that you need to do in the skin prep in this. Rest, I'm going to show it.
Amazing. Super excited. Let's get started.
Yes. So the first thing is your face needs to be clean. Mine is completely clean. I cleaned it with my makeup cleanser and then I put a sheet mask on top. And then, like I said, I ice my face. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use a mist. This is the Love Earth Jasmine Face Mist. It's very affordable, so it's pretty nice. And then I just rub it onto my skin. And always make sure that you're giving your skin 30 to 40 seconds with each product to soak in the products. Don't like try to put it all together. The skin really needs to start soaking it.
So I have a question for you, Hiyavi.
Yes.
So you used a face mist. Is that face mist all we can use? Do you have any other recommendations?
You could use a toner. A toner. You could even use the rose water. Rose water works best actually. When I don't have anything, I use a rose water. Because of the lockdown, my stock is over. So I'm using this. Otherwise, I'm a big rose.
And it's easily available as well. So
it's easily available. Any brand works.
Right.
Just try to make sure it's the fragrance is less.
Okay.
It's not highly fragmented. That's about it.
Got it. Let's get going.
The next is a serum. Try to use a moisturizing serum when you're doing this. Even if you have oily skin, still use a moisturizing serum. Don't be scared when you're doing this look. Just use a lightweight one. Ordinary has great ones, and I think it's available on the net easily. And it's comparatively to our other serums, it's not that expensive.
Okay, so Shruti says, please leave all the product details in the comments. So yes, Shruti, after this live is over, we're going to request Hiyavi to mention all the product details in the comments on this live.
I like to go like a lot with my serum. My skin is super dry. Like it just eats up products. And just literally with each product, remember to tap it into your skin. Don't ever rub products, just spread it always upwards and then just literally put it into your skin. I'm going to put some on my neck. Always an upwards motion. With any type of skincare that you ever do, never put it down because gravity is already pulling us down. So always make sure it's upwards. Next
Okay,
step is a moisturizer.
we have a question
I
for you.
Yeah,
Manya says, using moisturizer after serum gives a burning sensation. Any tips for that?
you're probably using a serum which is not suiting your skin. So it's activating when you put the moisturizer, change your serum. And always test your serum on your neck before you start using it on your face or any skincare because you don't know what you're allergic to unless you got your allergy test done. Then I'm using a moisturizer. You can use any. Actually, my favorite one is Emollient. It's available in every chemist. It's $250 and it works for every skin type. It says for dry skin treatment, but it literally works for every skin type. It doesn't have any fragrance. It doesn't have any chemicals that don't need to be there. So that one is actually my most favorite one. Then I go in for my moisturizer. I always heat up my products in my palms.
So apart from Emollient, is there any other product that you would recommend to use?
There are a lot. There's Embroices. If the Neutrogena super moist one, the Clinique, they're all very good. Just see what works for your skin. I'm saying Emollient because it works for every skin. I know that because even all the celebrities use it. They don't use anything else except Emollient. It's the safest. It would never cause a reaction on the skin. Please, my biggest tip is literally to tap in all the products.
Okay, so also while you're prepping your face, what would you suggest for the lips? How are you going to prep your lips?
I am going to do that. I have already scrubbed my lips. I do that every alternate day. I just take some coconut oil, some sugar, and I scrub it. Uh, then I'm applying the Forest Essentials balm.
Okay, guys, so while Hiyavi is prepping her lips, I am gonna drop in a link in the comment section below for all those who wish to join our club and be a part of amazing sessions like these. Click on the link and join us because we do these sessions every weekend. They're 2 hour long with our experts. It's get ready with me, it's chit chat, and it's super fun. Let's go ahead, Yavi.
Yes. The next is a oil. And I know the question is going to be I have oily skin. Don't be scared of oils because you have oily skin. Usually, you have oily skin because you're not moisturizing it enough. So your skin secretes oil. Because if you don't hydrate, if we don't hydrate our scalp enough, it gets oily. Or if we overwash it, it again gets oily. So don't be scared. Just don't use anything too thick. Use like a thin oil. I have a few suggestions. There is one by the beauty company. Um, this is the one I'm using. Uh, it's actually by me. I just haven't launched it yet. So I'm going to use that one.
And can you tell us what the secret ingredient in that serum is?
Not yet.
Okay, so again,
This
you
is an
said
oil. It's a beauty oil. It has gold flakes in it,
oh,
and it has some stones which activate when the oil is put in it. So it actually works for calming the skin a lot. So I really like to heat it.
okay, so can you also tell us what is the difference between oil and serum?
Uh, Serum are basically vitamins or some kind of acids we're putting on our skin. Uh, they are used to activate our natural skin, whatever, and balance out the pH level. Oils are essential oils. It's used for moisturizing. Yeah.
Great. So as you said, even people with oily skin, it's necessary to do this step. What is that one particular product you would recommend to people with dry skin or oily skin, or is there a personal favorite of yours?
Oil or anything. Oil. The beauty company oil works for both. I don't like it so much for dry skin because the consistency is very thin. So I need to apply 2, 3 layers. For oily skin, this works pretty good. For dry skin, just use anything. Of course, Farsali is there. Farsali is really good. Uh, the one I'm launching is going to come for different skin types. So this one is thinner and this one is thicker. So just you have to look at the consistency. When you're going to buy it, just try it on your hand. And if it's super thin, that means it's for oily skin. If it's a little bit thicker, that means it's for dry skin.
That's a great tip. We have another question and then we can proceed forward. So
Yeah.
Ruchita says, can we layer these products under our eyes as well? My under eyes are quite dry.
Yes, I am, because everything of mine is super dry. But do you see how shiny it instantly gets? It's because of the gold flakes. So beauty oils usually do have gold flakes in it, and that's the ones we should go for. I am also applying it on my lip.
Great. Okay, another question. Should a primer spray be used first or moisturizer?
Sorry, could you repeat that for me?
Primer spray be used first or a moisturizer?
Uh, it's first it's toner, then it's serum, to primer. Yeah, it goes in that step. The next step, I'm quickly going to massage my skin so that the oil really gets in. You should do it for about 5 to 7 minutes. I'm just going to quickly do it for like a minute. And don't ever, during all the skin prep, don't forget your neck and your chest, because or whatever little skin is showing, everything, don't forget those things, because your face will be moisturized but your neck will be dry. And always massage your under eyes because it's always puffy for most people, especially because most people are not drinking enough water. uh, we're not sleeping on time, especially during lockdown, and the screen time is always high for people now. So always remember to massage
Okay,
your
and
under eye.
you suggest like a roller or a gua sha also works for things like this?
I prefer either a roller or my hands. Like you can also massage
Yeah.
yourself with your hands. That works best for me. But if you're a makeup artist who's going to be doing it on other people, try to keep a roller and always sanitize it. Don't try to use your hands too much to massage into the skin.
Okay. Okay, so Ritika asks, should we massage our skin on a daily basis or twice a week?
Every night before sleeping works the best. And icing should be done in the morning when you wake up, when you're having your tea or your juice, whatever. Just ice your face then because it depuffs.
Got it.
You can also use an under eye cream after the cream. I have already used it in the morning, so I didn't want to reuse it. But if you have under eye, like dry under eyes, always try to use an eye cream. Uh, this one is by It's Skin. Bobby Brown also has a great one which works really, really well. That is a little bit on the higher side though. I'm just gonna wait for a second for the oil to get really sucked up into my skin because that's very important for this look.
Okay, why don't we take up a few questions until then?
Yeah.
So, can you do this look on acne prone skin, and how would you do it differently if you were to?
With acne prone skin, I you can do it with any skin. Yes, the look is going to be a little bit different, of course, and I will make a few changes in it. I will also explain it step by step when I'm doing it. The only thing is with acne prone skin, you should ice longer. Ice your acne for longer so that during that time it sits a little bit. That's basically your goal in this, to make your skin look really good. The second step would be to use green concealer if you have red acne. And the third step would be when we do put a highlighter, right now, we're going to start doing that. We stay away from areas which have acne because we never put highlighter in acne. We don't want to highlight them, we want to conceal them. That's the only thing different, but yes, you can. There is no problem because everyone's skin acts up.
Fantastic. So, are we done waiting? What's next? We're super
Yes.
excited for this.
The next step is a primer. Uh, we try to, if you have oily skin, use something which is pore minimizing, or if you have acne prone skin. If you have dry skin, use something moisturizing and something that is a little bit shiny. So in glass skin makeup, we try to use everything shiny. That's our goal, right? So I'm using this. Benefit has great ones. I'm using the pore. It's a drugstore one. Benefit is great as well. Color bar has a great one as well. And when you have acne prone skin and you're using a pore minimizing one, make sure you apply it here properly. Yeah.
So, again, what would your tip be to the right points to apply your pore minimizer or primer?
Uh, if you have a combination skin type, use the pore minimizing on your T-zone and your cheeks here, where we can see pores basically. And rest of your face, you can use a shiny one. If you have oily skin, use a pore minimizing everywhere. And if you have dry skin, just use the shiny one throughout.
Okay, so I have another question, and it may sound stupid. Most of the primers often mattify your skin. Now, you are already prepping your skin to give this look like a dewy look. How would you?
That's why I didn't even say to use a mattifying or a silicone based one. Avoid those because those will mattify your skin. A pore minimizing one won't.
Great. Tell us what you're doing next.
I am gonna wait for a second so that my primer is fully inside. I use a lot of this shiny primer during this look because when I apply my base on top, I want it to be like super glowy.
And again, before you go ahead with your base, would you be applying like a liquid illuminator to make it more glossy?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Could you also please repeat the name of the primer that you're using, the pore minimizer?
It's called pure, P-U-R.
Can you show us the product?
You can screenshot it. Next step is the liquid illuminator. I'm using this by My Glam. It's a drugstore one. It's not that expensive. So I'm going to apply it on my cheeks, on the high points, on my forehead a little bit. I avoid my nose because if you can see, my nose is pretty out there. But you do apply it on the ridge of your nose as well and your cupid's bow. It's all about layering, literally. And then I tap it into my skin. I like using my fingers a lot because of the warmth it gives. Just make sure they're sanitized. Can you see how shiny my skin already is? Yes, right now it's not perfect because we haven't covered anything. The next step, I'm going to use another one on top of it. This is by Wet and Wild. This is also very affordable and it's actually one of my favorites. And I'm going to apply a little bit under my eyebrow. The high bones, basically, that's how you know. If you get confused, just see what my high bones are and apply it there.
So, Hiyavi, what was the difference between the two illuminators and
just a little bit of color difference? That's about it. So that we have a lot of reflection happening when we go in light or the sun, whatever.
So, did you use like a lighter one and a darker one for this?
I used something with a pure gold tone. Then over that, I use something with a rose gold tone. We try to avoid silvers on Indian skin, silver highlighters. It doesn't sit well. It goes gray. And the same thing, I'm going to apply it.
Can you also tell us the name of the My Glam product that you use? Can you show it to us?
It's called the Spotlight highlighter.
Great.
I'm just applying it here as well. Can you like literally see? And don't get scared. It's not going to remain this way. We're not going to look like a disco ball. It's going to be okay. Once all of this is done, then we start our actual makeup. So I will go in for a color corrector. If you have acne, you will use a green one. If you have dark circles, you use an orange one. If the dark circles are not too much, use a light orange. I'm going to be using a light orange. If you have darker ones, use a dark orange. Yeah. Again, I'm going to go in with my fingers. My products are sanitized. My hands are sanitized. So make sure everything is sanitized. We don't want our skin to break out.
And what is your personal favorite? So I see that you've been warming up all the products between your fingers. Would you also suggest using a brush or a beauty
whatever blender? You are comfortable with?
Yeah.
A beauty blender, a brush, fingers, whatever works better for you. And you can also be like, okay, in this process, in this step, this works better for me. In the next step, this works better for me. The more you do it, the more you will realize. After years, for me, fingers work better. If you ask another makeup artist, maybe they don't like using their fingers too much. I have warming it and I'm just going to start tapping it in. I love tapping in my products. Like, I think that's the biggest tip I could ever give. Just tap in everything.
Okay, for all those asking, we're going to be saving this live on YouTube, and you can simply go on to our Insta stories, swipe up, access it again. You can subscribe to our channel. And yep. What's next, Hiyavi?
We're still going to color correct. Can you see that even around my mouth it's a little bit discolored? So I'm going to go in there as well. Wherever this pigmentation, discoloration, you go in with the orange concealer there.
Okay, we have a question from Nidhi. Nidhi asks, how do you sanitize your products?
I have a sanitizer for it. Uh, this one is from US, but I think Anu Kaushik took one out, a product sanitizer. Or you can clean it with a wet wipe. If it's not powder, just clean it with a wet wipe. Or you have your UV sanitizers. If you're a makeup artist at this time, just invest in it because we really need it. Once this is done, can you see? Yeah. The next step is foundation. I know a lot of people will ask, does concealer come first? Does foundation come first? Foundation always comes first because concealer is thicker. The consistency is thicker. So we put concealer after foundation because otherwise a lot of product gets wasted. We will put our concealer, and when we put a thinner product on top, the concealer moves. So we've actually just wasted our product. For something like this, if you're going to be doing it during the day, I would go for a BB cream. This one is by Color Bar. If you're doing it at night or if you want something higher coverage, just try to make sure to use a thin foundation. Don't use a thick foundation. Hear me because Radhika, you're stuck. Am
Can
I
you hear me?
audible?
You are audible. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, now I can. Anything that is thin in high-end brands, I always like to use the Chanel or the Bobbi Brown. Because if we use anything thick in glass skin makeup, our pores get clogged and then it doesn't look like glass. So we have to make sure that everything we use makeup wise or coverage wise is thin in consistency. And if you say, oh, but I have a lot of problems in my skin, that we will cover with concealer, not foundation. We're just using our foundation to get an even look, not for too much coverage in glass skin makeup.
Okay, so Ritika wants to know again.
Yeah.
You're using your fingers, but when you're doing the makeup look on somebody else, can you use a brush or a beauty blender?
You can use both.
Yeah, great. Also, the way you prepped your skin, can we do many layers of, or can we, how many do, okay, I didn't get the question. So when you prepped your skin, how many layers do you apply on oily combination or acne prone skin? What do you suggest?
How many layers of what?
Layers of product. I think.
You can layer as much as you want.
Yeah. Is there anything that you minimize out of this particular routine for either of the skin types?
No, you can use up to 7 to 11 products.
Okay.
If your skincare consists, like I could start with a face wash. That's one product. Then I do a toner. That's the second product. After that, I can even do a mist. You know, a lot of people are like, I'm going to do a toner, then I'm going to do a mist. Then there's under eye serum, then there's under eye cream.
And we know
Every
that
step,
Korean skincare is like super extensive.
yes. When you start doing it, there is a lot of purging which happens. Your skin needs to adjust to the skin. Don't go in for all together. Slowly add products into your skin. So if you're going to say, oh, you said oily skin can use 7 products. Even if dry skin uses 7 products, like immediately, ekdam se, it is going to purge. Every time you add a new product to your skincare, your skin purges, it's adjusting to it. Yeah. I'm using a brush. I'm taking my foundation.
What's the solution for freckles for this particular look?
I would never suggest to hide your freckles. that the basically glass skin makeup is to look like skin. So if your skin already has freckles, I wouldn't suggest hiding it. But if you really want to, you can go in for the orange concealer. I am going to go in with my foundation. I'm tapping it in with my brush. And if you can see, I applied a very thin layer. Also, I mixed a drop of oil again with my foundation. People with dry skin should do that. People with oily skin, they've already prepped it with oil. They don't need to. Yeah. And I am applying a super, super thin layer. Also, in makeup, less is more. Also, it's better to apply like minimal products and then add more if you need to. Otherwise, you have to remove it, which makes no sense, but you can always add more. It's like cooking. It's better to put a little bit of salt first, taste it, and then put more, because otherwise it's a whole lot of trouble.
Okay, another question. Is there anything that you need to add to this particular makeup routine for mature skin?
A lot of oil. Mature skin also adds oil to their foundation. That's the only thing different, because mature skin is usually drier in nature. And I have not blended my foundation fully yet. I have just put it, I'm going to show the motion once again. I've just tapped it right now.
Okay, so what kind of a foundation would you suggest for this look? Is it like a super dewy luminous one? Or
yes, a dewy one, nothing matte. In this entire look, we use nothing matte. Never.
And are you also going to be using any powder products, or is it going to be all cream?
I will use a bit. I'm going to use a little bit to show oily skin people how to make it dewy. But if it's dry skin, I avoid it altogether. I skip it. Now that I have applied my foundation, I will start going in with my beauty blender. I'm going to apply my setting spray on my beauty blender. You can use any setting spray, but not a matte one. Anything that says mattifying setting spray, you can't use that for this one. Or anything that says 24-hour, that's probably mattifying, if it doesn't say mattifying. I'm using...
Which foundation did you use?
I use the Chanel. Okay. Because it's super dewy and I mixed a little bit of my Bobbi Brown in it. But on a daily basis, I literally put on my Color Bar CC cream. I don't like shutting my pores because my skin is going to stay with me forever. Now I'm just going to start tapping in my foundation.
So how do you prevent your under eyes from drying? Because you're using so many products.
That's why I said use an under eye cream. And till now, we've really just put a lot of skincare. So we haven't really dried it. We've actually hydrated it. So we don't have to worry about that. Even with foundation, we are wearing such a thin foundation. So it's doing opposite to what we usually do. And always use a foundation that matches your skin tone exactly. A lot of people will ask me, oh, do we use a lighter one? No, not for this one, because we are already applying so much highlighter. We don't want our makeup to oxidize. Even with my foundation, I take like my time and I really just put it in my skin because it's glass skin makeup. I really need it to be blended completely into my skin.
So I think you already have some pre-orders. Hiyavi, Nidhi wants to know, how can we order this oil?
I haven't launched it yet. I'm still waiting on the packaging, and it's stuck because of the lockdown. But as soon as the lockdown is over, I think 10 days after that, I will launch it. I will launch it on my Instagram. I will put a link there.
So tell us, you used a Chanel. Which other foundation can you use for this particular look apart from
Anything that is dewy.
Okay.
Sometimes I even use a Lakme. No problem. Just whatever works in your skin. Only thing is nothing mattifying. It has to say luminous. It has to say dewy. Thin, nothing thick. If you can't use a Huda in this, your glass skin makeup is already gone as soon as you use something as thick as that. If you do have a problematic skin, we cover that with a thick concealer, not a foundation with this look. Again, I'm not gonna forget my neck.
Also, which setting spray did you use?
I use the Faces Canada Ultimate Pro Makeup Fixer. Keeps makeup intact and hydrates. I bought this because it said hydrate. If it said stays on for 24 hours, I wouldn't use it during this look. Because for something to last that long, it has to go matte.
So again, how would you make this look last longer, and what would you suggest?
Because we have prepped our skin so well, it's anyways going to stay longer because we shut our pores before starting. We use the mask, we use ice, we use moisturizer, different types of serums, toners. So our skin is shut. It won't eat our makeup anymore. And ice also does that. If our pores are completely shut, our makeup will last longer. Our makeup doesn't last longer because our skin eats the makeup. That's why you will see people with bigger pores, their makeup doesn't last as long. So you need to shut the pores properly beforehand. Also, the other tip, when you're doing makeup, never forget your ears, because right now my ears don't match my face. Even if it's the same color, just apply. And that's something we always do on celebrities. Normal people tend to forget that, but in your pictures, everyone can see it. Now I'm gonna take my fixer.
How can I use a matte prep and prime from MAC?
Matte. Did you say matte? Right?
A matte prep and prime from MAC.
You can use a prep and prime from MAC. That's not a problem. But if it's mattifying, I don't think that is. The matte one is not mattifying, so it's fine. Anything that's hydrating, you can use. I use my makeup fixer because I want to blend my foundation way, way more, because that's the little trick. So I'm just going to let that sit for a second and then dab it in with my beauty blender once again.
Okay, and then we'll take up a few more questions. How is the MAC Fix Plus setting spray?
It's nice. It's very dewy. They also have a dewy option in that. So whatever suits you, it's very nice. I also like the Urban Decay, the Too Faced. I tend to use this one on a daily basis because it doesn't cost that much and it works wonderfully as well. There's one from Krylon, and even the color corrector I use is actually from Krylon. And people will say it's very thick, but because I heated it up in my hand, in my finger, and then I applied it, if you just apply it directly from this, it's of course going to be very thick. It's how you apply it.
Okay, and do you need to use ice on a regular basis for extremely oily skin?
Yes, it is recommended.
Great.
Now, if you can see, I am really patting it in. Yes, you can ask.
No, I was going to say, let's go ahead. Tell us what you're doing next.
I am really just putting my foundation into my skin so that it can you see the difference it made when I sprayed it and I started just putting my beauty blender on my skin. That's all you have to do to it makes a huge difference.
Also, how many times is a setting spray needed to be used in any makeup look?
Once. I like to use it twice maximum. That's fine. You can use it if it's a hydrating one. You can use it a couple of times if something has gotten dry and you want to blend it. Just spray your beauty blender if you don't want to spray directly into your skin.
Okay, what is the drugstore highlighter that you used?
Both of the ones I used were drugstore. One was My Glam Spotlight and one was Wet and Wild. Both are very affordable. If you want to go on the higher end, the Benefit Sunbeam is my absolute favorite. Becca is now gone. It's discontinued. Becca used to have the best ones. And if you can pick up something from outside, Stilla also has really nice ones. This doesn't stay.
Okay, so can you use a serum? Can you use a moisturizer instead of a serum?
Yes. But with this look, I would suggest that you go for a serum because we really, really, really need to hydrate our skin. And what a serum does, it goes directly into the skin, which the moisturizer doesn't do. But in case you don't have it, then of course you just skip it. No problem.
Great. Tell us what we're doing next.
Next is concealer. I use a concealer in this look, which is 1 to 2 shades lighter because we already use foundation of exactly the same color. I don't do that with the concealer because we want to highlight and conceal at the same time. If you are concealing acne, then you do not use a lighter one. On that, you use the exact same color. I am using the Cover FX because my foundation was so light. Now, whatever needs to be concealed, I would probably use like a little bit thicker. So I go with my brush and I just apply inside. I have like a major dark circle problem. Then I apply on the outer, always upwards. I'm going to fake it. I'm going to do a little tiny facelift. Yeah. And then around my mouth. And on my forehead. I will also apply it on my neck areas, which I want to highlight. Whatever's left over in my brush.
Can you also tell us what shade that is?
This is G Medium 2. It's a warm tone. It's super warm. I'm going to let that sit there so that my skin really gets the color. And during that time, I'm going to start contouring. Yeah, I'm using the Fenty stick. You can use any cream contour, liquid contour, whatever works. Nothing powder though. I don't want to contour too much with this look because I want it to look like I woke up like that. I don't want my face to look very chiseled. So I'm going to just brush up my brush against it. I'm not going to put it directly and just start shading it upwards very lightly, not too much. A little bit of the jawline.
So, Hiyavi, I see that you've let your concealer sit. Is that
Yeah, I said I'm letting it sit so that my skin really gets the color and then I'm going to blend it.
Great.
I am not even blending my contour too much yet. If you have a double chin, you can always contour here a bit. Yeah. Now I'm going to go back with my beauty blender or fingers or brush, whatever works for you, and start putting my concealer in.
So here you used a concealer which is slightly lighter to your skin tone.
So that it highlights.
So
it highlights my features.
okay,
So
and if you were not to use a lighter concealer, what
on acne.
As
You're
in-
not to use a lighter concealer on top of your acne.
Right.
Everywhere else, yes, you can.
Great.
If you've color corrected properly, you can use it.
And which brand of concealer did you use right now?
I use Cover FX.
Okay.
I like it a lot better than the Shape Tape, actually. I was using the Shape Tape, but the Shape Tape oxidizes very quickly, and that tends to annoy me with this look.
And how would you prevent your makeup from creasing at this point?
We're not going to worry about that yet because it is going to crease right now. We're going to fix it at the end. So can you see how shiny we are? And now whatever I didn't blend, I'm going to take the other end and just press it just once because it was so little that I don't need to blend it much.
Great. So while Hiyavi blends, I am again going to drop in the link in the comment section so that y'all can register and attend many more sessions like this with us. So click on the link and come join us at Airblack. Hiyavi, tell us what you're going to show us next.
I always like to take my beauty blender after my concealer and just do that once to take off whatever excess product is there. Yeah. The next I'm going to use like a tint, a cheek and lip tint.
So you're using a very peachy tint, I see.
Yeah, you could use it. You try to keep it in pinks and peachy because it's a Korean look. Koreans tend to like that. And I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit. It adds very little color. And then the same way, I'm gonna use another tint because it's all about layering your products. Because we won't be using much powder, we need to layer our products.
Can you also tell us both the tints that you use, the brands?
This one is by Body Shop, and the other one is the Wonder. Again, I'm just tapping it into my skin. Benefit has a great tint as well. I have it here somewhere. Benefit has great tints, but try to buy the thinner one because now they have a thicker one as well. And I like to use the excess product on my nose to give like a sun kiss effect. Yeah. The next step, for whoever has oily skin, after this step, we're going to use a powder blush. I'm using my NARS palette. No matte blushes, but nothing with those shiny things in it. But yes, very small shiny things is fine. Like a luminous blush is fine, but like a highlighting blush, I would avoid that.
So basically, anything that's not mattifying, not sparkly.
That's what mine looks like.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just gonna apply very thinly because I just want to set my product if my skin is oily.
So Ishani wants to know, for a fuller face, can you contour more? So you contoured really less for this particular look. What would you suggest?
You could contour more. No problem. Just blend it out properly. I could contour a little bit more to show you guys. but I'm using very little. And then again, it's just about blending it out properly. Again, when I'm done blending, I just take my beauty blender and press my product in. That's the key to blending. Like pressing your products in is what makes a huge difference. It goes a long way. So I'm a little bit more contoured. After I've done my powder, I'm gonna go with a cream blush on top to make it dewy again because I've powdered it. I am using the flower one. It's available on Nykaa and it comes in a lot of colors and it's actually very beautiful. Like I recommend that to everyone. I have it on my fingers and everything's gonna get super dewy again. Can you see? It just started, it gave me the glow back that the powder finished.
It's very luminous.
Yeah.
Looks great. What's next?
Now, after I am done with this, that's when I will take my powder. Yeah. I'm using the Laura Mercier, but you can use any powder which is not too dry, not too mattifying. You can also even use an HD one. But the trick is that we take the powder. Usually we bake. In this, we don't bake. We take like a thin brush, not our usual powder brush. We don't take something like that. Yeah. We take a thin one. We take the powder on the brush. We brush off the excess and we just powder very lightly. We powder under eye. This is called spot powdering. That's what it's called. It's used a lot in Korea. And if you have any creases, just blend it before powdering it with your blender. I have powdered my under eyes. Then whatever is oily, if you have a T-zone, then you go in with the powder, same way.
Can you also use a banana powder for this step?
I would avoid it because it's thicker. It's used for baking, so I would avoid a banana powder for it. And around my mouth, because that's where the lines come. But I'm literally just putting it on the area. It's literally like spotting. That's it. Yeah. I won't use too much powder. And to get the glow back, I'm just gonna go in with my wet beauty blender. And just take off excess powder. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in with a bronzer. We're not gonna use a contour powder at all because it's very mattifying. It's very dark. I'm going in with the bronzer. This is by Physicians Formula and it smells absolutely amazing. It smells like the beach, like literally, it smells like coconuts. So I'm going to take in some and just lightly.
Okay, so we have a lot of questions. I'm going to take them one by one. For extremely oily skin, if you set the foundation, will it not move?
It will not move. Like I said, because the skin prep is done so well. If you do feel that your under eye tends to get too cakey, you can bake for about 50 seconds. But that's it. You can't make it look powdery because the entire point, but it won't move.
Okay,
I'm
so
going in with my bronzer right above my contour.
Laura Mercier or Chanel, which is a better powder, which is more hydrating?
The new Laura Mercier, they've come up with a hydrating powder. So that is more hydrating.
Okay, tell us what you're doing.
I am just bronzing up everything. This is according to your liking. I like bronzing a lot, but if you don't like it, you don't have to bronze too much. But yes, it will, for people who like contouring a lot, or and they can't use a powder, so this is a great substitute for this look. But bronzer is generally not a substitute, but for this look, it gives a nice shape, whatever was missing. My face is basically done, and now I'm gonna move to like my lips, like give finishing touches. I'm
So
gonna
for this
start my
look,
eyes a
Sally,
bit.
what are you going to do with your eyes? How would you want?
I'm gonna keep it very natural. I'm gonna go in with my tint again. I'm gonna take my cheek tint and just lightly apply it. For people who have oily eyelids, go in with an eye primer before. Yeah. I'm gonna lightly just dab it on there. And then I'm gonna go in with a liquid eyeshadow. It's a little shiny one, so I'm not gonna use it too much. I'm just gonna use it inside. Can you see properly?
Yep, all good.
I've just used it on the insides. It's not gonna show much right now, but once we're done, it just opens up the eyes. The next step is I'm taking my Tom Ford, but you can go in for anything. I also have a Huda. If you want me to use a Huda, if people have that more, I could use a Huda. So I'm gonna go for something like that, like a little bit bronzy, but not too out there. I'm just gonna use my fingers for this because I know where exactly I want it. I'm gonna take it very lightly, and because I have my cheek tint, it's just gonna stick. So I'm just gonna lightly apply it. We try to keep the eyes quite bare in this because it's all about skin.
Again, for this, what would you suggest if people want to do up their eyes slightly more brighter, or they want to accentuate it better? What would you suggest?
You can use a brown. We can go in for a brown. I can show it very quickly. Give me a second. I could go with the brown, or I could go with the bronzer that I use. Okay. And I'm just going to slightly shape my eyes. I'm going to give it a little bit of shape, not too much. We don't want to do too much eyes because once we're done with the face, once we're done with the powder highlighters on top of this, we are kind of going to look like a shiny ball when something comes in us. So we don't want the eyes out there, then our face out there. It's too much. It's too much for the eyes to even take. So I would try to keep it as less as possible. With eyes and lips in this, it's all about skin. You want to show off your skin, that this is what your skin looks like. One second. Now that I've shaped it, and no matte eyeshadows in this, yeah?
So Manya's confused as to where to apply her bronzer and where to apply her blush. What would you suggest?
I can easily tell you. So the bronzer, you just take in your face like that. This is the line the bronzer comes in. If you have a thin face, you apply your blush on the apples and you take it up. If your face is slightly chubbier, avoid the apples and just take it above your contour like that. You avoid this part. Yeah, I hope that works.
That's a great tip. I hope that helps Manya. What are we doing next?
We are still doing our eyes. After I'm done, it's not much. I'm just going to take the same shade and just apply it a little bit more just in the middle so that it pops. That's it. That's all. And now I'm going to go in with a liner and just line. I don't want it to look like a liner. I just want to line my thing. You can use a gel liner. You can use whatever. You can use a kajal pencil as well.
So basically, we're going in for the very natural, dewy look. So
yes,
basically,
and it's not so natural when your face is against the light. It's quite a lot for someone's eyes, so it's not that natural. But yes, we don't. It's basically to. It's we're faking it. We're faking that our skin actually looks like this. That's the point of it. Now that I've done my liner, I'm just gonna smudge it a bit. Literally, I just pressed it against my eyes. That's it. To just give it a little bit of shape. I didn't go in, just outer corners.
We could also tight line our eyes for this, right?
Yes, but I wouldn't go inside. I would keep it outside. And if you have droopy eyes, you can make it a little bit up and smudge it up. But it shouldn't look like you've worn liner. We don't want to look like we prepped for this, basically. The next step is I'm just gonna take a kajal pencil. You can use any. My favorite is the Lakme one. I'm gonna link it once I'm done. Like I don't like to use anything water-free on myself, but if it's a client, I would prefer that you use something water-free, like waterproof. Sorry. This is the Lakme one. This one's a brown. I'm just gonna tight line a little bit. And just on the outer, just touch it. Literally just touch it. Just to give it a little bit of shape. Can you see that there is a shape, but it looks effortless?
It
That's
looks
the point.
fantastic. Yep.
I'm now gonna go in with my eyelash color. If you want to go in with eyelashes, I would keep it very natural. Nothing too big, nothing too heavy with too much volume. Just something that looks like your own eyelashes. I would avoid it, but if you really want to, you can go in for it. I'm just gonna curl them. I like curling them like a lot, and you can just heat it with the dryer. I'm heating it with my light because it's easier. They literally just open up, and that's the point. Next, you go in for a mascara. I'm using a volume and curl by Wonder Beauty. I usually use this one by Milk. It's not available in India. Too Faced is really good. And there's this one by Maybelline. It's a yellow one. Even that one is really nice. Like For my everyday, that's what I use. I'm just gonna go in with my mascara. And even with the mascara, we're gonna layer it. Like we're gonna do a coat. And don't worry if you get any mascara anywhere. Just take a Q-tip and wipe it off. Like it even wipes off without the makeup remover if you do it immediately.
We have a lot of product questions, Yavi. So it'll be
Yes.
good if you can list down all the products that you used in the comments after this live is saved on our YouTube.
Yes, I would do that.
Fantastic.
Next, I'm gonna take in more mascara. The trick is that once you're done, just take the like the outer area of your eyelashes and apply mascara there. That's where we usually forget. And that's what makes it look long.
Can you suggest a good brow bone highlighter?
We've already applied a layer, and in the end, I'm gonna use powder ones and I'm gonna show you. Yeah. So I'm done with my eyes almost, and I'm just gonna go in for my eyebrows. Just gonna take the brush and I'm gonna take a hairspray and spray it. Or if you don't have a hairspray, just use your makeup fixing spray. You can use the matte one for this. Yeah. And just brush up your eyebrows. A lot of people ask me if they can do soap brows with this. You can, but because it tends to not look so natural, I avoid it. Once I've brushed it up, you can go in with the pencil, a powder, a pomade, whatever. Like I have everything here. With brows, I usually am sticking to Benefit mostly. It is my favorite. And it's easily available. That's the best part. Because if I buy anesthesia, then once it's over, I have to go looking for it. With Benefit, I can just go buy it in Sephora.
Okay, so Namita wants to know, can you do the glass skin look or the technique for bridal makeup?
Yes. But then you keep the eyes very so. I would do it for a cocktail night. It works very well for a cocktail night, or how people have youngsters now. You know, when somebody's not wearing something too Indian, it works very well. I'm lightly filling my brows. I do not want too much happening. With brows, always start from the end and then go forward. You just need to lift it a bit because we're doing like a fake facelift, just a little bit.
So what product are you using right now on your brows?
I'm using the browsing, and I'm gonna end with the Benefit pomade. I don't use black ever. I always use like a light brown or a dark brown depending on the person's hair color, but never black. Just wherever there's a bigger gap because my eyebrows have, that's I'm just touching it there. Next step, I'm gonna go a little bit in for my lip balm again because they're getting dry. Now I'm going back for my liquid highlighter. Yeah. At the same places.
So it's all about highlighting and just keep retouching your.
Yes, it's a lot of layering, like I said, because that's what makes the difference. And that's how it lasts, because there's not much powder we are using.
And
And
so
it's also personal preference. How much do you want to shine? You know,
supposing you want to retouch your makeup again after a while to make it dewy, what would you suggest?
you take your setting spray, you spray it, and then you take your beauty blender and tap back your products in, and you just reapply the highlighter. That's it. Now that I'm done with this,
And I forgot to tell our viewers, guys, if you're doing this with us, we would love to see the look that you've recreated with Hiyavi. So go on, tag Hiyavi. It's Hiyavi and beauty.airblack. And we'd love to see what you've recreated. What's next, Hiyavi?
now we're gonna go in with a powder highlighter. But right before we do that, we're gonna spray our faces again. Yeah. So I'm just gonna cover my eyes and really spray it. And just wait for it to dry and don't talk when you do that.
Okay, for those who just asked how you want to register for our next sessions, I've dropped in the link in our comment section. Click on it, and our team will get back to you to tell you all about the club and
Can you keep that
courses
there?
we offer. So, Hiyavi, where at this point, where are we at our makeup look and the stage?
We're literally 2 minutes away.
Okay.
So once that is done, while our face is still a little wet, I'm gonna take my highlighter and just apply it on top, the powder one. I'm using a Becca, which doesn't exist anymore, but it is my absolute favorite and I've stocked up on it. You can use any. Just no pearl whites. That's about it. Anything that says pearl white, avoid that. And do this while your face is a little bit moist because it really sets in then. And I'm gonna do the same thing for my neck. I'm gonna spray it. And I'm gonna
Okay, we
go
have
in
another
with a
question for you. What is the difference between this particular look, the glass skin look, and a regular day makeup look?
we don't shine like a disco ball. Even if we apply lots of highlighter, it's not gonna be like three-dimensional shining, and it's not gonna look like your skin is very healthy because we did so much prep, we use so many layers of products and thin ones. And once you do it 2-3 times, it's super quick. It's not that it's not that tedious. And the last step is our lips. I'm gonna lightly line them. Even with lips, we try to keep it very, very natural. Because
Which
the
lip liner
Koreans,
did you use right now?
I use the Huda
Okay.
Wi-Fi. Like the same color as my lip. Then I'm gonna go with my tint again. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take any nude or a peachy lipstick. I'm using the Fenty. Nothing matte again. And literally just touch it because we don't want a perfect lip with this. You could use a plumper before if you want.
So, as you said, you want this to be a completely natural look. So, are you not going in with like a lipstick, or do you want it to
I did go in with the lipstick, but I just touched it on my lip. Like I touched it and I just touched it. I'm not going to do a perfect lip.
And for instance, if someone wants like a proper lip,
you can. You could.
What
You could
color?
even do a nice pop red. It would look really well.
Right. Got it.
Then after that, I'm just gonna moisturize it a bit more and just go in for a lip gloss or a plumper, whatever. You could do a perfect lip, but if you keep it glossy, your perfect lip, it looks better. But if you're that person who can't do without a matte lip, just go ahead and do your matte lip. Doesn't matter. And that is.
I'm gonna request you to come a little closer to the camera and show us the look.
Can you see when the light? And if you want, you can go for some shine on your body. I usually use like a shimmering lotion or something like that to make sure even your skin looks as healthy as your face skin does. So whatever skin is showing, if it's my legs, my arms, my back, whatever it is, just something to keep it nice and shiny. You can use a nice bronzer if that's something you like, no problem.
That was fantastic, Hiyavi. Your skin is radiant. It looks gorgeous.
Thank you.
We enjoyed it a lot. I hope you guys loved watching this too. If you all recreated the look with Hiyavi and us, tag us in your pictures. Tag Hiyavi at HIYABI and beauty.airblack. And Hiyavi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much to everyone for watching and doing it if you did it with me. And do try it. Like, it just looked tedious because I was teaching, but it's a very quick look and it instantly just lifts up your face. And it's a perfect date night look too, actually. I would wear it to a date night. I would like to look like that on a date.
I think it looks great for summers and even winters. So definitely give it a go, guys. And we will see you next week. Hiyavi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.